الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله قال تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما أما بعد إن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وأحسن الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار اللهم أجرنا من النار يا رب سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي بعد. My dear beloved brothers and sisters, the Prophet Musa alayhi salam was once addressing his community, and someone asked him the question, who is the most knowledgeable individual on this planet? أي الناس أعمل. And he said, I am. And rightfully so, he is the Prophet of Allah. He receives divine knowledge. And so when he was asked the question, who is the most knowledgeable person? He said, I am. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala corrected him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said to Musa alayhi salam that there is an individual who has more knowledge and possessors of more than you are. And so Musa alayhi salam, he said, who is this person? I want to meet him. I want to learn from him. Musa alayhi salam is someone who had a tremendous upbringing. If you reflect on his life, from the time that his mother put him in the basket and he came to the palace, he grew up with the best teachers. He grew up with the best instruction that a prince would have. In fact, Egypt was a place that individuals would send their brightest to be taught. And so for sure, we can assume that Musa alayhi salam had a very good upbringing. Knowledge, experience, being in the middle of politics. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He says what? وَلَمَّا بَلَغَ أَشُدَّهُ وَاسْتَوَى آتَيْنَاهُ حُكْمًا وَعِلْمًا. That Musa alayhi salam is someone Allah, from His divine intervention, gave him wisdom and knowledge. And he's someone who just not only grew up with the elite in the palace, because the way the story unfolded, he had a connection with his biological family. And so not only did he get the instruction and the training and the resources of being a prince in a palace and being trained by the best, he also was able to have a connection with his biological family of Bani Israel. And so he learned about ethics. He learned about oppression. He learned about certain elements that you can only learn if you see the hardship. And he also had an older brother, Harun alayhi salam, who he really admired. In fact, you find that later in his life, he asked Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send his brother Harun with him. And so he had this mentor figure. Entire life of Musa alayhi salam, you find that he's being nurtured, he's being mentored. And then he goes to Madian, who he finds in Madian, according to many scholars, the great prophet Shu'aib alayhi salam becomes his father-in-law and a mentor. And then he meets Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the mountain, and Allah gives him divine knowledge. And then he's at the height of his wisdom and knowledge. And then Allah says, no, you're not the most knowledgeable person. In fact, there's someone else who may, in fact, have a different knowledge, different wisdom than you have. وَفَوْقَ كُلِّ ذِي عِلْمٍ عَلِيمٍ. That above every possessor of knowledge, there is someone who has more knowledge than you. Of course, all the way to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the most knowledgeable. And that's why, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. So if you don't know about a subject, if you don't know about something that you're going through, go seek the consultation of someone who does know. It is the system that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us with, that each and every one of us have wisdoms and knowledge above the other in certain regards. And so seeking that consultation, seeking that mentorship, and then also providing that consultation, providing that mentorship. And that's why Musa alayhi salam, when he asked Allah, Ya Allah, where do I find this person? And we know he's Khidr, and there's a lot of discussion about who he is and who he's not. But regardless, Musa alayhi salam, he takes with him Yusha bin Nun. It's very interesting that Yusha bin Nun is like his mentee. Musa alayhi salam, the mentor, has a young person with him, Yusha bin Nun, and Musa alayhi salam himself is going seeking out mentorship with someone else. And that is a relationship that we all have. We all are mentors for someone else, and we all need to be mentee of someone else. It's a continuous process. And so Musa alayhi salam, he goes on this journey with Yusha bin Nun. By the way, on a side note, Yusha bin Nun, according to some scholars, he's the one who eventually helped and led Bani Israel into the promised land. The mentorship of Musa alayhi salam. Musa alayhi salam never saw Bani Israel entering the promised land. He wasn't able to, he did not live his life up to that point. But the person he mentored, in some sense, is the one who has that tremendous history. And so Musa alayhi salam goes on this journey. فَوَجَدَ عَبْدًا مِّنْ عِبَادِنَا آتَيْنَاهُ رَحْمَةً مِّنْ عِندِنَا وَعَلَّمْنَاهُ مِن لَّدُنَّا عِلْمًا قال له موسى هل أتبعك على أن تعلمني مما علمت رشدا. Musa alayhi salam, he goes and in search of this man and to seek his knowledge and to seek his wisdom. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He tells him that you will find him in between where the two sea meet, and you should put a fish on a basket, and where you lose the fish is where you find him. And there's an extensive story, some accurate, some narrations. But regardless, Musa as salam goes on this journey to seek consultation, to seek advice. My dear beloved brothers and sisters, the scholars of tafsir talked about a lot of different elements of this story that you find in Surah Kahf, that each and every one of us probably read. But today, actually, I don't want to talk about that story. In the few minutes that I have left, I actually want to reflect on something else. I want to reflect on the fact that Musa alayhi salam went on this journey to seek consultation, to seek mentorship, to gain knowledge and wisdom that he does not have. And this is a key lesson. Each and every one of us in our personal lives, each and every one of us in our careers, each and every one of us in our business, in every aspect of our life, we need mentorship. We need individual we seek consultation from. There is a challenge that we all have, is that we live in a time and a place that we are too prideful to seek consultation from others. I could Google that. I could find it myself. I've been living life for the last 50 years. I know better. And we all think we are the own kings of our own hill. And each and every one of us have very difficulty in seeking advice and seeking consultation from others when we are going through things in our life, or generally in every aspect of our life. One of the challenges that we have, that many of our young folks who grew up in nuclear families, and so we're used to doing things on our own, no one intervening. Getting advice and someone intervening, someone telling us a different direction, it doesn't sit well with us. And sometimes we're in a culture where we like to talk but not listen. I want my safe space. I want a place where I can vent. I want to talk to people who assures me. And that's the culture. I don't want to be challenged. And so when we are going through an issue, or when we need consultation, we go find people who we know are going to tell me the things that I like to hear. That's not consultation. That's not seeking advice. That's not seeking mentorship. Musa alayhi salam did not see and hear things and experience things with Khidr that he liked. He didn't quite like a lot of things that Khidr was doing. But it was a lesson on wisdom for him. It's a lesson of knowledge for him. And so each and every one of us, it becomes a paramount in our lives that if we want to progress in life, grow, that we need to be able to seek consultation and seek advice from people. And not just people that we think likes us, or people that are going to let me hear things that I already know. And being able to be vulnerable in seeking consultation. You know, I work with many imams, executive directors in the Muslim community, and advise organizations. And I find I talk to a sheikh or talk to imam. I say, who is your person? Who do you go to? He said, no, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only. I said, that sounds good on paper, but I know that's not what you are actually experiencing, because if that was the case, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you find him in Treaty of Hudaybiyah, he goes and seeks consultation of his wife. We find the very early part of his prophethood, when he's shaken up and he comes down, Zammiluni, Daffiruni, he is seeking the comfort and the advice of his wife Khadija. And so don't tell me that somehow you just go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and that is not the sunnah. We're supposed to seek mashwara, we're supposed to seek consultation and advice, even from people we know that probably will tell us things that we might not want to hear. And I don't know everything. Just because I lived life for a long time, I don't know everything. That open mindset, that growth mindset is paramount in us for us to be able to deal with the things that we're dealing with and have a beautiful, in every aspect of our life. أقول قولي هذا أستغفركم فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وبعد. My dear beloved sisters and brothers, each and every one of us Like Musa alayhi salam, even at the height of his prophethood and the height of his career, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let him know that he doesn't have all the knowledge, he doesn't have all the wisdom. Because you never do. Allah is the one, the possessor of all wisdom and all knowledge. And so we have to be in a continuous growth of seeking consultation and seeking mentorship. But it also goes the other way. We also have to provide and spend time and invest in people around us, in our family, in the community, young people that we see of all ages, being able to be of mentorship in the things that I know, things that I do. But if you are going to do that as a mentor, as someone who is giving consultation, giving advice, we have to remember a few things. And I'll leave you with this. Number one is that when we are dealing with people and they come to us for mentorship, for advice, for consultation, the first thing they need from us is love. Mu'adh ibn Jabal, Rasulullah would advise Mu'adh, "Ya Mu'adh, I love you." And then he would tell him, after you finish your prayer, say, "Allahumma a'inna dhikri wa shukri wa husni ibadatik." That lesson of adhkar that he learned, it came with the love of Rasulullah. And that's why when Mu'adh the Jabal was being sent to Yemen and he's walking at the outskirts of Medina, and Rasulullah told him, "Ya Mu'adh, asa Allah talqani ba'da ami hadha," that maybe Mu'adh, you will not see me when you come back. Mu'adh cried because he had that love for Rasulullah. Rasulullah taught lessons, gave advice with love. That's one. Number two, if you're going to advise people that come to you in your family, in your colleagues, your friends, number two, you have to be able to have a conversation, not just say what you think you know. Have that dialogue. At the Nabi Sallallahu a young boy comes to Rasulullah Sallallahu Gulaman Shabban at the Nabi Sallallahu and he comes and he says, Ya Rasulullah, zina. Give me permission to commit zina. And Rasulullah has a conversation with this young man. Not just tell him the advice, because I know your story. Okay, stop talking. I know already what you're going through. Let me just blabber and give you the advice. No. Conversation. Thirdly, if you are going to give advice and people seek your consultation, you have to be able to separate your own life experience with what the other person are going through. I had a brother tell me that he once went to an imam who was having his own marriage issues. And so when he asked about his family issues, the imam said, brother, just have sabr and patience. And he quoted the hadith about women with the rib cage and all that. And then he went to another sheikh, and that sheikh just had a new baby. He was excited about life. He said, brother, family is a blessing. Wife is a blessing. It's a barakah. Same problem, two different imam, two different advice. Both quoted hadith, both quoted ayah. Because of the personal experience. You messed up in your business, and a young person comes to you and says, what do you think, uncle? What do you think, ammu? Should I go into business? You say, no, get a good job. Business, not good. And you go to someone else who hates career and been a businessman all his life, he'll tell you, no, forget college. Go do a business. When people come to us, we have to be able to separate our experience with the advice we give people. Because oftentimes we combine those two things into one thing. And so when we seek consultation, we have to be able to have that humility and vulnerability. And when we give advice, we have to have that love, we have to have that dialogue, we have to have that neutrality. I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He allow all of us to have this growth mindset. I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He allows each and every one of us to be mentors to other people in our lives, to be advisors and a good advisor for the sake of Allah, other people in our life. And I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He allow us to seek consultation and seek benefit from other people. قوموا إلى صلاتكم يرحمني الله.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
استووا استقيموا استووا صفكم. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون. فإذا قضيت الصلاة فانتشروا في الأرض وابتغوا من فضل الله واذكروا الله كثيرا لعلكم تفلحون. وإذا رأوا تجارة أو لهوا انفضوا إليها وتركوك قائما قل ما عند الله خير من اللهو ومن التجارة والله خير الرازقين. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. يا أيها الذين آمنوا توبوا إلى الله توبة نصوحا عسى ربكم أن يكفر عنكم سيئاتكم ويدخلكم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار يوم لا يخزي الله النبي والذين آمنوا معه نورهم يسعى بين أيديهم وبأيمانهم يقولون ربنا أتمم لنا نورنا واغفر لنا إنك على كل شيء قدير. الله. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله. الله أكبر. الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Assalamu alaikum. Just a reminder from the brothers here, inshallah, as you walk out the masjid, please donate generously, invest in this masjid, inshallah. Jazakumullah khair.